Ahead on the second hour of American Sunrise, celebrating Charlie and his message. Honoring Charlie Kirk at a Kennedy Center prayer vigil in D.C. and celebrating what his life stood for. Real America's Voice host Steve Bannon covered the event live. More than 2,000 packed the hall. Details ahead. Plus, from London to Lima, Charlie Kirk's death doing more than sparking grief. It's igniting a global movement. People across continents rising up, rejecting globalism, gender chaos. They're embracing freedom. We're going to show you. And Charlie Kirk's assassination isn't just uniting his followers, it's turning hearts. They reveal who really stands for tolerance and why Charlie's legacy will not die. It's all ahead as the second hour of American Sunrise starts right now. Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
we have breaking news to share with you.
Politics.
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
We've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second hour of American Sunrise. I'm David Brody, coming to you from D.C. Let's bring in Dr. G in West Palm, T. Bates in Denver. Good morning to both of you. You know, I was struck at one thing, Dr. G. Erica Kirk talking about, as she actually said these words, quote, "God is good," is what she said. And I think there's going to be a lot of people that don't know God who go, wait, what? Yeah. God is good? Wait, that doesn't compute. But think about this so far. And look, we don't have the answers. We don't know. This is horrible. I mean, let's just be honest. We want Charlie here. And then you look at what God has done so far since this has happened, right? So many more people going to church, seeking God. You've got the Turning Point chapters, 32,000 of them now, or at least inquiries about 32,000 new chapters. They have 3,500 right now, 32,000. And then you look at the fact that the whole world now knows about Charlie Kirk's message of Jesus and biblical truth, whereas before his death, just a portion of Americans only knew. Now the whole world knows. Mm-hmm. God is stirring, yeah. Dr. G.
He really is. It was melancholy. I walked in this morning, and it was the first time where I stopped and looked. There's a green room here in the studio, and sometimes the guys will set it up for Charlie to do his show in there if we have conflicts in this studio and don't have another studio available. So a lot of times Charlie would be in there. It was kind of funny because he's a pretty big guy, and him being in there in that little bitty green room to do his show. And I looked and I thought, literally did this, thought, oh, I wonder if Charlie's going to be here today, because I saw that the light was on. And so it's going to continue. I think one of the things that, at least I know, we just are all experiencing this so differently, but one of the things I'm experiencing is a deeper conviction of all the things that I kind of thought I was doing okay on. And suddenly excellence seems to be called for, seems to be the item of the day. I don't know if you're feeling any of this, Terrence. Yeah. I just feel like it's so... And then the other thing is I just can't sleep. I can't get that image out of my head. I can't get it out. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. And listen, I'm the person that knows how to counsel people with PTSD. But Dr. Heal Thyself, right, Terrence?
Yeah, you know what? Unfortunately, I've had my share of counseling. But one of the things I've learned in counseling from counselors is that sometimes the trauma, other people's trauma, can also impact you as the counselor. And sometimes it's also healthy from the counselor's perspective to talk to someone. Of course, the assassination of Charlie Kirk continuing to be a major global story. Utah Governor Spencer Cox saying that the man accused of killing Charlie isn't cooperating.
He has not confessed to authorities. He is not cooperating. But all the people around him are cooperating, and I think that's very important. There were reports yesterday that we can confirm that his roommate was indeed a boyfriend who is transitioning from male to female. That's information that the FBI had mentioned yesterday. We can confirm that as well, and that he is cooperating with authorities as well.
The 22-year-old accused assassin remains in custody. Formal charges are expected tomorrow. In the meantime, federal agents are reportedly zeroing in on whether the assassination was part of a broader plot. Investigators now said to be looking at the suspect's network and online footprint. President Trump set to head to Britain for a full royal state visit this week. He'll be the first American president ever invited twice by the British monarch. King Charles will greet President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump with the works. We're talking a royal salute, carriage procession, and a private lunch at Windsor Castle. However, this trip isn't just for show. Sources say a massive US-UK tech partnership may be announced. The deal would reportedly center on AI and cybersecurity. All right, folks, time to get a quick check of your nationwide forecast. Meteorologist Tracy Anthony from our friends over at Weather Nation standing by. Tracy, I like warmer temperatures, and I think you're bringing those in your forecast. Bravo to you.
You know what? I was just going to ask you that. We're about a week away from fall. So are you ready for it?
As ready as I'm going to be. My grass is still a little bit brown, so I guess I'm a little bit more ready for that. A little bit of rain could definitely help it. But I like warm temperatures, as I said. I'm all for the warm temperatures.
Yeah, and you know, we've had record-breaking heat across the Central Plains throughout the last several days with this ridge of high pressure that continues to set up with this blocking pattern. So we're going to slowly start to see this ridge break down, but we're talking St. Louis 94 degrees, Minneapolis 86, and Dallas 94 as well. So this is where that heat is just centrally located for the next couple of days. Now, rainfall-wise, we have some areas that will be dealing with some light rain showers, but areas of the mid-Atlantic and North Carolina in particular have a coastal low that's going to continue to churn and eventually push on shore. And we're talking about rainfall totals even inland 3 to 5 inches just over the next 24 hours. So they're going to be dealing with some inland flooding, some coastal flooding, and some breezy conditions here over the next day or so as that low just churns. Now, hey, that begs the question, what's going on in the tropics? And we do have one area we're watching in the Atlantic, but it's been relatively calm and quiet. So, Terrence, that's a good thing that we haven't had an overly active hurricane season.
Absolutely, especially for you guys down there in Florida, which typically gets the brunt. Thanks so much, Tracy. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, let's get over to David. David, really the big story is Charlie Kirk. It's going to be the big story all week long with the funeral at this point set for Sunday.
That's right, T. Bates. And the reaction to the actual assassination of Charlie Kirk is on everyone's mind and coming in fast and furious. On Friday, Erica Kirk stood where her husband once spoke, his empty podcast chair beside her. Her words, they were just raw, her faith unbreakable. She declared Charlie's mission will carry on, his name, his cause, his crown in heaven. Take a look.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. My husband's mission will not end, not even for a moment.
You know, it was more than a message of grief. It was a call to continue the fight. Millions are asking, is Erica Kirk now the voice of what comes next? Joining us now, the host of Breaking Point here on RAV, David Zier. David, you were at last night's prayer vigil for Charlie. You're there at the Kennedy Center. You know what I found interesting on so many levels with what Erica Kirk was saying, but she, you know, it was the suspect is one person, Tyler Robinson, but she said evildoers, plural, and that they. I mean, there was more than an implication that, the suspect may have pulled the trigger, but there's a lot more people responsible for the hate, violence, and rhetoric going on today against people like Charlie.
Yes, David, like Andy No said, he calls it Trans-Tifa now, and we're going to see how all these things unfold here. And Andrew Couvette said yesterday that Charlie Kirk didn't want blood in the streets, he wanted revival.
Yeah. It's so true, so true. David, from what you're hearing on the ground and even in sort of the inside D.C., Washington whisper campaign, how deeply are they looking at this? I remember initially there were reports talking about some investigations of foreign folks. Is that something that they are looking at? Because I've listened to the most recent couple of days interviews with Kash Patel and others, and I'm kind of hearing that dropped. But I know that John Solomon on this show said that there was some information of some foreign involvement. Do you know anything about that? I just don't want to let it drop.
I do not have any information regarding a wider conspiracy type operation or planning. And this is an ongoing investigation, right? And did Tyler Robinson have any communication with other members of the Antifa type community or any other foreign interest? But no, I do not have any specific information on that.
David, obviously you're there in Washington, D.C. You heard the who's who of Washington, D.C. speak last night at the vigil, which leads me to the question. We hear a lot about the grassroots really being motivated, really being mobilized as a result of Charlie's assassination. But how about the power structure? How about the lawmakers who were there in Washington, D.C.? Yeah, they're saying all the right things, but how about the actions? Are those actions, is the rhetoric turning into action?
Well, Trump asking, I think, for another $58 million for increased security for judicial branch and executive branch members. And as we heard last night, you know, Congressman Andy Biggs, Mike Johnson, Anna Paulina Luna here, it's front and center on their radar. But when you talk about grassroots, this place was packed last night. We had 2,500 plus inside the concert hall. About 1,000 people were turned away. And Terrence, I just wanted to add, you know, this was really encouraging last night because what Charlie built here goes way back, right? I had two young men last night that I interviewed for RAV almost 7 years ago at CPAC here. They're still involved. They're still active. One was a Southeast Florida Turning Point High School chapter chairman, and the other was a very active young man out of Baltimore involved with TPUSA. And these guys are still going. So I think there's a lot of momentum here going forward. And as Dr. Gina pointed out, you know, 32,000 new requests for chapters, and a lot of those are high schools.
David, we have about 30 seconds left. What was the mood inside the hall last night? I mean, obviously so many emotions, right? Anger and sadness and resolve. And, you know, what did you get a sense of the most there? What was the...
And I want to couple with that question, David Brody. Were there Democrats there?
I don't know. I didn't talk to any Democrats, but the mood was, it was tense at first. It was subdued. It was solemn. Once people took their seat, I think it really set in. But last night was a message, again, of revival and of strength. Because once the people shared their stories about their interactions with Charlie Kirk, you know, it was uplifting and it was an enlightening ceremony here at the Kennedy Center. And speaking of Democrats, the Kennedy Center, named after John F. Kennedy, started construction a year after he was assassinated, another assassination. So this goes across the spectrum. Everybody has to denounce what happened. But yeah, yesterday was very, very moving. And my favorite line of the night was Carrie Lake said, "Don't send your kids to these indoctrination camps," meaning these left-wing colleges. So, but yeah, it was very special, very special. And the people were just great. They came from all over the country. I interviewed people from all over. And it was put together in 48 hours, which was amazing.
Yeah, amazing. That is amazing. We appreciate you. Thank you, David. Appreciate your coverage.
Thank you so much. Yes.
All right. Coming up more on the Charlie Kirk assassination, specifically about some of the crazy people that are saying stuff online, horrible stuff online, and the names and posts of those cheering violence are now being exposed. The details when we come back, everybody.